This is indeed an announcement that I was hoping I would never have to read, and it is pretty tragic. Longtime but former partner of my favorite driver in NASCAR, Martin Truex Jr., has passed. Sherry Pollux has officially passed of the ovarian cancer that's been around for, 8 years now? Feels like a never-ending cycle, you know? It did anyway. But, that's really where it should end. They separated and it was earlier this year, it was before the season. But the thing is that they were still doing, they still had a business relationship is the thing. They still had a business relationship. They were still doing Sherry Strong, Martin Truex Jr. Foundation stuff together. They were still doing that stuff. But as far as a intimate personal relationship, they separated after about 15 years. And this is where everything should end. This is where it should end. It should be noted as a tragedy. It should be recognized for the positivity that they brought to millions, maybe not millions, but at least thousands with their walks, with all the work that they did for cancer research and stuff. That's where it should end. That's where it should end. It really should be. But unfortunately, Danica Patrick on Instagram.
I avoid negativity on social at almost all costs. Almost. But this is the most insensitive, disconnected statement from a guy I have never liked. And obviously for good reason. I don't care what happened between them, but this is as cold as it gets. A PR rep wrote this guaranteed. You're free from this now, Sherry.
Oh my goodness gracious, where do we begin on this one? I am not at all surprised that this is the behavior that Danica Patrick is exhibiting on social media. This is not at all surprising, actually. So Truex and Sherry were together for 15 or so years. It all started when Truex entered the Busch Series. You see, Sherry Pollux is the daughter of Greg Pollux, who was the owner of PPC Racing, co-owner or whatever, who fielded the number 10 Nesquik car in the Busch Series in the early 2000s. And that is how Truex and Sherry met, is when Truex entered the Busch Series. And they hit it off pretty much immediately. And they've been together all the way from then until the start of this year. And if we consider the, religiousness of NASCAR drivers and how they view marriage, it really shouldn't come as a surprise that they never got married, because in a Christian sense, it's probably better to amicably separate after 15 years of a relationship instead of getting married and having a nasty divorce after barely 5 years and going on to hold a near half-century grudge against the other person, like my grandparents. But they were together for 15 years. You'd think that after that amount of time, you're going to be able to learn about your partner. You're going to be able to learn what their needs are, and you're going to be able to, have a sense of if the relationship is going to work out and if it's not. And clearly it didn't. They separated, and probably for good reason. You have to imagine that traveling America for 40 weeks out of the year probably was doing a number on Sherry's body, in conjunction with fucking ovarian cancer. That's probably not a great combination, that level of stress, that level of week in and week out stress. And we all know, there's comments all the time about how stressful the schedule for the Cup Series is. And you add on top of that the championships that Truex has been chasing ever since 2015, ever since it was announced that Sherry had this shit. You have to imagine that level of stress, not only on Truex, but the amount of stress that had to have put on Sherry and the amount of stress that would have put onto their relationship. I mean, I really don't understand why it's so difficult to understand the whole situation going on at hand here. But then you get a response like this. You get a response from, dumb fuck Danica. Dumb fuck Danica, that's her new nickname. It used to be Daniac the Maniac, Dana Crash Pat Rep. That used to be her old nickname all the way back in 2015 when I was doing that. But you see, then you have Danica Patrick. You know, oh, she wants to talk about this relationship that they had between each other and how, oh, it must have been so bad for charity. You're free from this now. Yeah, motherfucker. Yeah, this comes from Danica Patrick, who the second that she was out of NASCAR, dumped Ricky Stenhouse and immediately got with Aaron Rodgers. And it's like, oh yeah, there you go. That's some coming from a woman who definitely knows how to have deep interpersonal relationships with their partner, who's gonna dump the one that they probably had absolutely no connection with in NASCAR and go on and just have a random fling with Aaron Rodgers. Yes, definitely. There is a whole lot of meaningful relationships going on there. Danica definitely knows how to hold down a partner. Definitely. Anyway, I guess let's break this down. This is the most insensitive, disconnected statement from a guy that I've never liked. Motherfucker! Okay, so you've never liked Truex. Alright, so then you never actively tried to foster a relationship, friendship, any kind of fucking working partnership with Truex. So you're admitting up front that you know absolutely nothing about him, and you are demonstrating that you know absolutely nothing about him, because if you knew anything about Truex, you know that he is one of the most laid-back and soft-spoken people in the entire garage. Every single time Earnhardt is on camera talking about his relationship with Truex, he's always mentioning all the time about how Truex has like one or two word responses to any text that he sends. When Truex announced that he was coming back, there wasn't some broad, wide sweeping video package about it. No, he literally just said 2 words to the media. I'm back. And whenever Truex makes a post on social media, his Facebook, his Twitter, every single time it's the same thing. It's like 1 or 2 emojis. And then a link to something, and a picture. You know, Truex is one of the most, quiet, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Under the radar, I guess? I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but like, he doesn't have an explosive personality. It doesn't really, this doesn't strike me as shocking in any sense of the word. And like, you see, the best part about this is that if Truex had made some long, babbling, rambling video, you know what the first thing everyone would have said is that, oh, Truex is such a little bitch, look at him crying on the camera. Yeah, the minute that men show their emotions, I didn't want to make this a political fucking video, but the minute that men show their emotions, the minute that men need a little bit of an assistance, need a little bit of help from society, the very first thing that comes up is,
oh, well maybe you should be better. Maybe men should be making the world better for women, and then maybe they'd get a little bit of kickback from it. Maybe they should smile more.
Yeah, good work. There's a video by Shoe that just went up that shows what I'm trying to explain very badly in a very brief sense. I have to go to work in literally 5 minutes, so that's why this video is as bad as it is. So that's why men bottle up their emotions and never, put themselves out to the world. And then you get shit like this. You get Danica Patrick, who's never held down a relationship in her fucking life, coming out and pretending like she knows what's going on inside of Truex's head. A PR rep wrote this, guaranteed. Even if a PR rep wrote this, who cares? Who cares? Everyone mourns in their own way. And these two were in a relationship for 15 years. And they were together for that long. You've probably never held down a relationship that long, Danica, but that's besides the fucking point. If anyone's going to know how Sherry would have wanted people to respond to her passing, it's Martin Truex Jr., who was with her for 15 years. If anyone's going to know what kind of response Sherry would have wanted to receive after she finally did pass, it's Truex who's going to know that. So even if a PR wrote this, who cares? Give Truex some time to process the fact that his partner of 15 years is fucking dead, and let him come to terms with it the way that he needs to. Okay? This is not a fucking difficult concept. But apparently this is the most difficult concept that Danica Patrick has ever encountered. More difficult than getting a top 5, a singular one, in her entire career. Yeah, and I mean, that really doesn't matter. Danica's pointless and innately nonsensical career does not matter in this situation. Danica as a driver does not matter in this situation. Danica as a person matters in this situation. And it's clear. It's demonstrably clear with the fucking shit that Danica has just absolutely taken all over the floor of Instagram with this post. It's clear that Danica is a resentful person with absolutely no positive traits to her personality. I wonder why she can't hold down a relationship. Yeah, and when it comes down to it, who cares? Who cares how the two, Truex and Sherry, separated? Who cares? They're adults. They are adults. They are allowed to separate. They are allowed to end a relationship that they've been in together for as long as they have. They are allowed to do that because they're fucking adults. And if they can't make these fucking decisions without Danica Patrick going, quite suspicious if I have to say so myself, quite suspicious. Obviously, Danica has nothing better to do than be like some wine mom on, you know, The View, watching The View, trying to get the latest gossip from the talking heads and have her, you know, already terrible opinions reinforced by a society that already despises when men show any levels of emotion whatsoever. Turn around and just tell them that they're still pieces of shit no matter what they do in response to incredible life situations such as the one that we find ourselves in today. I did not want to make this video. I did not want to make this, but here we are. Here we fucking are. And you know what? It hurts. It really does hurt. As long as I've been a fan of Truex, like, Sherry's been like my racing mom ever since like 2015. You see, that's what it is. That's what it is right there. And you know, the craziest thing is that Sherry was like basically almost the exact same age as my mom. Almost the exact same age. It's wild. And that just really puts into perspective the fragility of life itself. It really does. It just puts it into perspective because 1 minute you're sitting there with the entire world in your hands, just like that. A minute later, nothing. A minute later, you've got nothing. So, it really does just put it into perspective. Sherry was someone that I never talked to, unfortunately. I never had a chance to speak with Sherry. I talked with all sorts of people in, you know, the NASCAR circle, but I never got a chance to talk to Sherry. And that's kind of devastating. The impact that she made, and like, you can't even begin to say, like, out of all of the NASCAR charities, out of all the empty, pointless charities that exist as like tax credits for, you know, famous people, out of all the charities, the one that was clearly and demonstrably doing the most and making an actual impact in racing would be the Martin Truex Jr. Foundation and Sherry Strong as a whole. And it is a shame. It is a shame. Everyone in the garage area is, I mean, all of the responses from everyone that you've seen around the garage area has been that of mourning, has been that of celebration of the life that Sherry led. It's not about a fucking stupid relationship coming to an end between a driver and someone else. It's not about that. It's not about some bullshit petty victim points and girl power points being scored on fucking Instagram. No, this was about a life, a woman who put everything out there, who stayed strong facing insurmountable odds, who faced the hardest thing that, you know, anyone in the first world could really face in the year 2023, and that's the inevitability of a life cut short. And she faced that with a dignified strength. She put herself out there, she laid absolutely nothing to the imagination, and she gave hope to thousands. She gave hope to thousands of people looking for something to, you know, looking for any sign of light in a life that's going to be cut short. Childhood fucking cancer. Are you fucking kidding me? Childhood fucking cancer. How do you stay strong in the face of that? And Sherry managed to find a way to give someone just give someone hope, you know? And she helped others who weren't struggling facing those struggles. She gave them a light of hope that maybe humanity is going to pull through. Maybe, just maybe, there is still hope for us as a species. Maybe, just maybe, there is hope for the future of our species. Okay, for the future of humanity as a union. And then you got Danica Patrick.